Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, apologies. It looks like we were actually a little bit lackadaisical getting into the server, and we actually missed the pistol round, but we're going to bring this action to you guys starting in the second round. Obviously, what happened was threes up, won the pistol round. So here we are, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. You can see Arya picked up the 3K. Davey and Jason are as well. There's a handful of kills on the way of the terrorist side, but oh my goodness, look at this. The auto shotgun being salvaged, but Arya coming from behind. Bolts is going to be able to find another one, and that's going to leave it on Jason R. and Arya to try to shut this one down. And look at this, Arya pushing on in with the auto shotgun. Bolts from the distance. Fallen's going to be there to back him up. The clock just doing work right now, raining terror down, and it's going to be Jason R. with 100 HP to try to stave off this anti-eco round victory for the terrorist side of LG. And they already dinked him down. He's 15 health, and Bolts just annihilates him. He had 14 health the whole time. Wow.
That right there is what I've said before so many times about the SMGs. When you're coming into those anti-eco rounds, if you have too many SMGs, you get easily overwhelmed. But look at this. Look at the buy we're seeing here from Threes Up. They've got an M4 on Jason R with armor and grenades. 3 players picking up 5.7 armor. They're trying to counter the fact that the only guns that LG picked up from them were SMGs. So basically trying to do what LG did to them just around prior, and that rifle already proving its weight in gold as they get the opening frag. Arya actually with the USP, the vanilla pistol, gets a kill over towards Long A, and it is going to be a retake here, but it's going to be a 5v3 as they found their way into the site. They still haven't planted the bomb, and unfortunately that's a kill they probably didn't need to give away as Abe goes down on balcony.
Yeah, but Arya, he salvaged an SMG in the bottom side of mid, and he's going to be able to find another kill onto Fur. The bomb was planted, but again, this is a tough situation, being that it's 4-on-2, and the nades come raining in. Cold is down to 38 points of health. Arya is still looking for one. He's not going to be able to find anything. Cold is going to be able to chime in. Steel chimes in. Davey comes around from the backside, and is going to be able to find another one. The flashbang comes out, and he's going to be able to blind one more player. He doesn't realize that they're right above him, and they do take him down. So the eco round trades now. And like you said, Jason R. did pick up that M4. Do they have time for the defuse, though? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Yes,
Davey was quick. Davey basically, as soon as the kill came in, Davey immediately jumped on the bomb. So not worrying about any guns, nothing else. All he cared about was winning the round. So that forced by awkwardness that we just saw from Threes Up works out, but the problem was that the T side of LG didn't really have to do anything in the round prior. They bought some SMGs and they got a few kills, and then they got a bomb plant as well. So now they're actually buying up full here. So it's going to be a little bit of a strange round here as Davey has the auto shotgun on drop. Abe with the MP7 up close and personal. The rest are going to be on those rifles. Davey is going to probably be the player to watch out for. This auto shotgun, if they decide to go towards drop, could be devastating, but it looks like they're going to be favoring the broken wall. And right now, you got to give the gun advantage to the T side based on their attack.
Yeah, and Bolts is already out in front of that broken wall behind the box right now, and he's going to be looking for some damage to come out. They do drop down, and they don't actually clear it out. Abe's going to find one. Fur trades him out, and now we're going to be back to a 4 versus 4. Molotov coming around towards Chicken Coop, not going to find what they're looking for, but Kiku goes down to the Bolts. Headshot from the AK-47. Arya as well did take down Cold, but we're back to a 3 versus 3. Davey still looking for something with that auto shotgun. Still hasn't found anything, but he's backside of Fountain. Still looking for these last two very low, very lit players, and he's just going to push on in and still gets nothing with the auto shotgun. But
he does trade it for an AK. That's an upgrade.
He gets the AK, and 3-sub wins the round, so that's all you can ask for in that situation. Look at this. Arya, 8-2 right now. Starting out very, very strong.
Arya's been having a great set of games all day, and this is the start they needed. They really need to have a dominant CT side, because if we take their T side against Ace Gaming from earlier, there really wasn't too much to write home about. It was kind of lackluster, and that could have just been the way Ace Gaming was counterplaying them, but at the same point in time, it just didn't seem like Threes Up was really a cohesive unit on their T side, and they really struggled. So that will be the interesting thing here as we move on through the half, but it is Threes Up right now facing off against an eco round from LG, P250s, a Tech 9, and a Glock. The only thing bought by LG. Just hoping to get a bomb plant at this point, get a little bit of extra money, maybe pick off a few players from the side of Threes Up and try and hurt the economy, as they have built up a decent stack of cash, but not enough that they can continuously rebuy without any kind of fear.
And I like this pinch strat. They actually went through drop, came all the way back around towards the CT spawn. They were able to find a couple of kills, but unfortunately it's getting shut down in the long run. Steel still not able to connect with that P250, and Kiku does sweep him under the rug. So 4-1, 3-sub. Still going to be able to make something happen in this round, but it will be another gun round. Arya is going to have the AWP fallen, no op on his back, so that economy not looking very strong on the terrorist side. But again, it kind of talked about that last round strat. You kind of saw it a little bit there where they came all the way around and they went through the drop room all the way back around into that connector towards the CT spawn. And I really like that strategy that they did there, even though, oops, screenshot. That's the path that they went. Apparently, G5 is the screenshot button on this keyboard.
I guess so.
Who'd have thought?
I accidentally opened Chrome earlier, and I don't know how I did that.
Not my setup, guys. I apologize for the absurdities that are going on the stream right now. But
we are sharing PCs left and right.
We are.
We're just that kind of gang. Either way.
I'm not that kind of girl.
It's 3s up right now, who have been very solid on their CT side, and they're actually going to be finally putting that op into play on Arya. And already having a great game in 9-3. Yeah, very slow play here. The kind of opposite of what you expect to see when you cast a map like Cobblestone. You expect to see speed.
Rush B,
but
rush B,
it is going to be an actual dedicated A take, so I like what I'm seeing here. The smoke's raining over Castle Wall here as they make their way out long. It looks like they're actually going to wall off everything up to the A site, and that is going to isolate this player, Jason R.
Yeah,
he's going to have to wait for support. Look at this smoke play, though. I'm loving this. Jason R. playing by cannons. It actually gets 2, and that's more than you can ask for. Davey finds one as well, and now it's a 2v4. Fallen trying to do what he can. Gets another one with that AK. His teammate in sight going to go for the bomb plant. He's going to eat a grenade. Actually, it's a molly right behind his feet. So right on the heels of Cold is a molly potentially trying to take him down. Cold in sight now in a 1v2. He's got players from both angles. He's got to be careful. He's trying to put himself in a position where he can go 1 for 1. He gets the first one. Can he pick up the second? Oh, no. Very close situation, but it is 3s up who come out with the round W. But it really shouldn't even have gotten that close. It was a 4v2, and then it comes down to a 1v1. And it was mostly due to just strong rifling and proper positioning from LG.
And we kind of saw this earlier on when we saw the CLG versus enemy matchup on Cash, where a lot of they started off on Terra's side, enemy did. They got 14-1, but they got 8 bomb plants in that half. So most of those situations coming down to 2v2s and 1v1s, that does not favor the economy whatsoever on the CT side. If they would have just traded out 1 round, would have gotten 1 round win out of all of that, they would have immediately had an eco round on the CT side afterwards, and they would have probably strung a couple more together and extended that match a little while longer. But again, you can actually see it right now looking at the scoreboard. The money situation is not good on the CT side whatsoever. Just lucky for them, it's even worse on the terrorist side right now.
CT side looking very good right now. 3s up, just kind of forgetting about the last map. They actually made it a very close game, and that was something I went over to the boys from 3s up and I said, you know, you guys got to be impressed with what you just did. Like, this is a team who plays at an international level with the top teams in the world, and you guys went 16-11 on Cash. That's not something to be ashamed of. You guys just had a really great map. It was a close game, but forget about it altogether. It's time to move to map number 2. Start over, wipe the slate clean, and try to have an even better map here in map number 2. And so far, they seem to be doing it. It's going to be an eco or a force buy here from LG, and it starts out wonderfully for them as they do get the opening frag, but trade it back. 2 more going the way of 3s up, trying to use those auto-machine pistols. The Tech 9. And it just doesn't quite work out for LG there. So now 6 rounds in the bank for 3s up. And it's LG who are actually kind of struggling on a map that I would have expected them to be very solid on their T side, because this was their pick.
Yeah, that's very true. And again, this is kind of one of those things where 3s up, maybe they just had a little bit something on, up their sleeve for this one. But as of right now, they're looking extremely strong on their CT side. Moses and I argue about this all the time when we cast together as to what sided Cobblestone is. I still think that it's on the CT side. He still thinks that it's on the Terra side. And the biggest part about that is what region you're playing the map on. If it's European, it tends to be T-sided. If it's North American, it seems for some reason to be a little bit more CT-sided. But a 6-1 CT-sided map? Definitely not. It should be a lot closer than this. There was a couple of rounds that LG lost that could have gone either way, like the Cold 1v1, where he was in a 1v3 and turned it into a 1v1. Lost that one in the long run to, I believe, Kiko. And it's one of those kind of things where they just need to capitalize on a couple of these mistakes, and they'll be right back in this, talking about the LG side.
Cobblestone is one of those maps that, for me, is kind of like D2.
There's a capitalize.
is like D2 or Cash. It's like a map that can flip 9-6 either direction with the occasional 10-5, and anything more that is pretty rare. And that's kind of, it doesn't really matter where you're from. That tends to be the case. It's just like, it all depends on the teams. And you're right, the region does matter because it affects how teams play the map and which teams you're actually playing with, because some teams in certain regions seem to favor the map more than others. I think the Swedish scene is very fond of Cobble. So it definitely has an impact.
And just completely shut down at the A bomb site right there. 3's up. Just doing a sensational job so far in this matchup, and there it is. Fallen calling for the pause. A little past halfway in the first half here, so he's not pulling a Fnatic and waiting until until it's the 28th round of a 30-round matchup.
Yeah.
He's gonna go ahead and call the pause early in this one, discuss things a little bit, as they are kind of in that money cycle right now. They've lost 6 rounds in a row, so they've got that money bonus ramping up for them. It's actually at the peak of where it's going to be, and they're able to buy up this round. So it is going to be a buy round. And we've seen it how many times in the past where they have a quick pause, talk things over for a second, and then they go right back into the game, and immediately you see them win the next round.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common thread when you have a team that is as disciplined as LG. They just need a little bit extra time to talk about what they want to do, because that freeze time just not quite enough. So it was a quick pause. They didn't necessarily need to gather their thoughts or you know, kind of rope everything back together. They just wanted to go over what they're going to do in this round, because obviously they haven't been able to really dent the defense just yet. So they're trying to mix things up. My guess is that they're going to switch players' positions around, maybe take somebody who's supposed to be an entry fragger and move them more to a support role and let somebody else try their hand. That's probably what they were doing, just trying to figure out what they can do to change things, because thus far they haven't been able to make it work.
And look at this, all 5 of the terrorists from LG are going to be in the long A hallway, and that's going to be where only one dedicated player is for the CT side. That's Jason R playing that Nook once again, but Jason R opening things up, going to be able to find 1, 2, and 3. Pulls out the pistol. Can he get the 4th? No. Fur is going to be there to take him down, but already in the back of the site is going to be Davey, who manages to find the headshot on Cold, and that's going to leave Fur in a 1 versus 4. Now a 1v3. Did manage to take down Davey. Nice spray control from him. Looking for another one on the Kiku, but he can't make it happen. And they get shut down again at the A-bomb site. So I'm thinking, honestly, with the amount of players that, you know, you see 3's up dumping 4 players over in that B-bomb site at the beginning of the round. Test the waters. I know that it's basically like having a 5-on-4 Fragapalooza over in that B-bomb site, but test the waters. You haven't really gone towards B. This, now look, they're going that direction now, but this isn't the round to really be doing it. Obviously, the nade comes up over the top, does a tremendous amount of damage to him as well. They're going to have some set smokes to throw in here, but this is going to be a bit dangerous as they're only on pistols. They did buy us some armor, though.
I just love watching the smokes and flashes rain over the wall here. And this is a great smoke take, yet another one. The question is whether they can make it work here. As Abe is in the site, he puts a lot of damage down the bomb carry, and there you go. He actually comes up with it. Pico jumps around through the smoke left and right. Arya in the back of site, Chicken Coop using the 5-7, and now it's on Bolts, who's managed to find solace in the arches in the back of site. He actually finds himself now in a 1v1. Bolts very lit. Davey playing on the other side of Rectangle. All he has to do is spot an arm of Bolts, and he should be able to come up with it, and there you go. So a round that shouldn't have been that close kind of proves your point that maybe they do need to play more towards the B site.
That's exactly my point.
But what I would like to actually see them do is they've gone for that A take more than once, where they kind of go towards long A, 5 players, and they smoke over. I'd like to see them send 3 players there, smoke over, flash over, and then have the bomb waiting in drop, and then they actually rush through the smokes almost and try to go like towards B through A. Do something completely different. Like, just keep 3's up in a point where, okay, we see their smokes, we know what they're doing, just hold down the A site. Like, confuse them, because the way they're holding A, they're putting 1 player in the site, and they don't even rotate until they actually see players in the site. So you'd be able to catch the players that are coming in through connector completely off guard if you just ran through your own smokes. It's risky, but right now, not risky is not working.
So we'll see how they decide to play this one right here. Bolt's going to be taking the point at the long B broken wall hallway. Let's see if he's going to be able to find it. If you go ahead and drop the smoke out, they're going to go ahead and throw the flash out. He's already out past the broken wall. He can get behind Davey here. They have no idea that he's out. But they are going to be able to sniff it out in the long run. They do manage to take him down. Kiku's going to be able to find that. Jason R still holding at the same spot that he was able to pick up a triple a couple of rounds ago. but Arya is not even going to give Steel a chance to creep up on him. Takes him down with a nice shot, and now they're trying to make their way into that B-bomb site. Fallen gets the nice headshot onto Abe. AWP going to work, but they're still on a 4 versus 2. Do manage to spot out Kiku, but Kiku's going to be able to get the better of him in the long run anyway, and that leaves Fallen 1v4.
So Fallen. Ooh. Hello. Now, Fallen, I mean, he's been the all-star for LG, but this is a pretty difficult situation. He's running out of time. He's actually hitting some really good shots. Threes Up now knows that they can't let him get any more, and he can't win the round anyway, so don't give him what he doesn't deserve. And he's actually going to go down, so he's not even going to save the op. And that was just good timing from Davey. He got the call from his teammate that he was running in towards the drop zone. 10-1. I would not have anticipated this scoreline, but if we did watch that last half, it was LG who started off really hot, and then Threes Up kind of got a little bit going, and then LG continued. But towards the latter half, Threes Up really picked up steam, and LG seemed very, almost like rusty. Like, it didn't seem like things were quite clicking the way they needed to, but Threes Up was firing on all cylinders, and that may have continued over into the second map here, as we yet again see the CT side get the opening pick of the round.
So again, they go for the boost up, and Davey's going to be able to find Fur. He gets, I thought he was going to get away. He face plants into the wall and falls down. Cold actually going to go aggressive and takes down Kiku as well. So it's going to be a 2 for 2 over here by this drop area. And Davey, I like the change of pace that they had on the CT side. Now, not getting too stale, but this time it doesn't exactly work out in their favor too well. Now they've only got to beat Abe, and they do, so that B-bomb site is now open for business. And this is really the best-looking round that we've seen on the LG side in a long while.
Yeah, I don't really like that play from Abe, a little riskier than he needed to be, but it is going to come down to a 2v2, and they've got a very lit player right on the other side of Rectangle. That's going to be cold. And Ari actually already smokes off the bomb, and he's going to go for the defuse here, and that's going to let him know where the players are. And Ari is actually still sticking it, and that is devastating if you're on the side of LG. I mean, you get so close, but look at the money on the CT side. Because these rounds have been somewhat close, the CT side is really not in a good position to be losing guns like that. So even though they win the round, the buy-up makes them almost broke. Very low on money. The only player who's actually sitting okay, economically speaking, is Kiko. The rest of the team, they've got to be careful, but they've now won so many rounds in a row that it's going to be LG buying out for the foreseeable future unless they can start putting rounds on the board and actually break that loss bonus.
Again, first blood going the way of Threes Up. Bolts down and out. He hasn't really been able to get too much traction. He's 9-11. Steel at 3-12. And Fur uncharacteristically 7-12. The headshot king not really strutting his stuff here. Fallen in mid, going to be pushing on up Jason R. He switched up his position once again. He did grow a little bit static over there towards the A bomb site, playing in the same spot multiple rounds in a row. But again, they're going to make a little bit of noise in mid. And Jason R, being as close as he is on middle, is going to be able to call this. And you can actually see Ari is ready, drops the bomb carrier. Now they can rotate on over because they know that they've got the bomb over by the long haul. And Ari is still looking for it. They smoke it off. And let's see if he can hit any more shots as they try to push on through. They do have one player lurking down on the bottom side of mid, but not expecting Jason R to be this close. Wins the fight anyway, Fur.
Ari in the back of A site right now with the op. He's waiting for that player to come out of plywood, but he never peeks. It's actually Davey who gets the kill. He does hit a nice leg shot on Cold, but Davey has to clean up as Ari does go down. Kiko coming in with the support from Jason R. 12-1. But they are going to be able to get an op this round. This is kind of like the buy we had seen a couple rounds prior. Or was it on Cash when we saw that weird buy from Luminosity? They put an op out.
An op and an armor CZ buy with the pistols to boot. This time they at least have a couple of rifles to go with, but
it's still very light. Like very few grenades. A Galil on the board as well. Tech 9 on bolts. They're basically just trying to put rounds on the table because they can't really afford to lose anymore. I mean, they're down 12-1. They need 12-3 at this point because this is actually a pretty somewhat T-sided map, or you could argue, again, like we said, like balanced. Even if it's balanced, 12-3 should not happen for either side. It should be a much closer game.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Arya is still with the AWP looking for that long A hallway push. They're going to go down through the danger zone. For anybody who doesn't know why I call it that. Oh, God. This mouse. Oh, God. The danger zone. But anyway, we're going to be Gonna see this push come on out here. Smoke going over the top, and again favoring that A bomb side. LG just beating a dead horse at this point. They've gotten locked down so many times. Arya gets spotted, jumping over the top. There you go. Finally, Steel is going to be able to take him down. Picks up the AWP, says, screw it, I'm going to go for the AWP as well. Davy's going to be able to find one. Jason R still finagling his way around this bomb site. They haven't cleared him out just yet. There you go. Steel's going to go for the peek and actually gets the shot on him. Beautiful job from him. Davey finally with a return frag. This is the first bit of life we've seen out of LG in a long, long while. Fallen missing an off shot. Missing again. Bolts still there to try to back his teammates up, but Cold in the sight's going to be able to find one more, and it's Abe in a 1v3. Trying to make something happen here for his team, and Cold's going to shut it down. A 2K on the round for him, and 12-2 now. This last round is dire, but look at what they just did with how close all those rounds were. It's going to be a save round for 3-sub. And by save, I mean it's going to be a 4-sub because it's the last round, but they're not going to have everything that they want.
Yeah, despite the fact that they had won so many rounds in a row, the last few rounds have not been all that great. In fact, the one round they ninja defused in the smoke, and one T survived despite the fact that it was the CT side who won it. So it looks like that a little bit more unorthodox buy from LG did work in the long run, but again, the opener happening over towards drop room, and it's going to go the way of 3-sub. They're actually going to go set themselves up for a boost over, it looks like, but I don't think they're going to go for it. After the nade rain's down, they're not feeling confident about putting themselves in that position, so they're going to opt to fall back a little bit more. And the play right now is actually over towards... Oh my gosh, they didn't spot him.
See him. Now they did.
There, now they did. I thought for a second he was going to survive with that, and that would have been pretty insane to see.
Yes. Yes, it would. But now lead this rotation in towards that A-bomb site. They know that they're going to be coming over that direction. They've got Davey all the way in the back of the site. They've got... Who else was over there? They've got Jason R that's playing that same spot. He's going to be popping some shots. This time it's not going to be nearly as effective as they do manage to take down Kiku. And Steel is going to go ahead and clear out the back of the site. Wins that battle as well, and it's all down to 8 on the bottom side of mid. Cold takes him down. 12-3 is going to be your halftime score. So there's your 12-3 scoreline that you were talking about. But now LG's got to be damn near flawless on their CT side.
Yeah, and we did mention it when we watched 3-sub play against Ace Gaming earlier. Their T-side was very lackluster, so big round right here for 3-sub. They want to get the pistol round and just go right into it. Get themselves set up to potentially make it 15-3, so they only need one round. So if they do start to struggle and LG starts piling on rounds, it's just a matter of time. Because I have actually seen teams get that 14th round and not get one to put it into a point where they could just tie it up. 3-sub appears to be stacking over towards the drop area, and all 5 players out drop. They're actually going to be funneling right into Connector. This is a mid to A play, right? Connector to A play, but it is getting sniffed out wonderfully here by the side of LG. And so many frags going in each direction. The kill feed just blew up with a sea of yellow and blue. But 3-sub can't manage to make it happen. And now they're going to be forced onto an eco here. Round 17. 3-sub up 12-4 still over LG. Plenty of advantage right now. 8 rounds ahead of their Brazilian opponent. The question is whether they can maintain that gap and or lengthen it, or whether it's going to be LG just kind of nibbling away at it until we get to a very close scoreline. It wouldn't be unheard of for us to see a 14-14 at any point in time.
No, it absolutely would not. But again, we're going to see this eco round coming out. They are going to be pushing in towards the B-bomb site, and this is going to be Cold right out of the corner. Ooh, nice shot onto A, but he does get dinked for his troubles, and now it's going to be Bolts that's kind of watching, or pardon me, Fallen that's kind of watching for this jump out. Davey, though, does manage to hit the shot. He's still spamming away. He's going to be able to find a second one onto Cold, and he retreats all the way back into drop room before Steel can even get around the corner for that. And he is able to spot him out. Bolts backside of the site, not going to be able to make it happen, but Steel does eventually finally find him after, I don't know if you saw that, but Bolts, he's a murderer, man. He threw out a decoy or a flash grenade or something over there at the B-bomb site and killed a chicken with it.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
He's just hunting.
Fatality. Still looking to come out through drop room. Jason R is over here. Steel still looking for it. Playing a passive angle. I like this angle that he's on. Except that he gets a little bit greedy. He goes for the pick anyway, and he's going to cost him his life. He does manage to pick off one, but he's going to leave Kiku all by himself in a 2v1 now. Finally, Fur comes around from behind and cleans him up, but a little bit scary. Tiny bit scary there for the LG side.
Yeah, not exactly what they were thinking was going to happen. Three's Up going to go for the Tech 9 buy here one more time. Try and get that bomb plant if possible. And at this point, they're probably just using these rounds as information. So they went B, and they went through towards drop, and they went towards, broken wall. And they're trying to figure out what needs to happen so that when they come into their first buy, they kind of have at least somewhat of an idea. They want to figure out what players are playing where and why. And they're starting to figure out that information right now as Arya with the Tech 9 spraying away, but it's going to be a clean sweep round here for LG. The Swiffer round, as they're now only down 6 rounds, but this is the opportunity for Three's Up to put that to a halt and start the machine all over again. And I have a feeling that the gears may be revving up as we see the 5 AK buy coming out. No AWP on Arya. Fallen does have that big green gun, and that might be a big piece of what's going to happen in this round because Arya, going for the aggressive pick, jumps straight out of Broken Wall right into Bolts. Bolts completely blind, and he's actually going to get a second one. Arya, a man on a mission here. John Rambo in the B site, just completely annihilating the attack there or completely annihilating the defense there for LG. Jason R with the bomb's going to go for the smoke plant. Fur and Fallen left to try to retake.
That was phenomenal. Fallen, though, is going to be able to equalize things. He does go down to Abe. That's going to leave it on Fur in a 1v2. Fur looking for one. That's going to be Abe behind the boxes on top by the broken wall. Jason R coming around the side. He's going to get spotted out as well. Flashbang to follow, but a little risky going for the AWP play. But Fur coming around the corner, and he clutches the 2v1. So all of that work for Arya and for not Fallen with a big 3K, but Fur coming up huge in a 2v1 clutch.
Wow.
Let's take a look at it again.
The Logitech instant replay, ladies and gentlemen. Letting us see that one more time. That was huge. That should not happen. Yeah, and that was Three's Up's opportunity.
Oh, my God. Just the reaction with that Tech 9, dropping him down, getting the defuse. Beautiful stuff coming out from Fur. Catching fire a little bit here, and that's exactly what LG needs, is they need to light that fire under their asses and get this one underway. And Bolts, he's going to be in a good position to pick off one. Cold is there. Bolts with a second one. And this push is just getting completely annihilated right now. Arya is still alive, but Cold takes care of it. It's a pair for both of them. And Davy's going to be your last man standing. Flashbang in towards drop. And that's going to leave it on a 1 versus 5 with no damage being dealt to any of these LG players. And there it is. Bolts with a 3K execution. 12-8, 4 rounds the difference, and LG running with a little bit of momentum now.
Yeah, it seems like Three's Up is kind of stalled out, and this is what we had talked about. Their cobblestone on their T side was a little bit rough when they played against Ace Gaming earlier, and Ace Gaming really did do quite a number against them, and after getting, I think it was like a 10-5 half on their CT side, they couldn't really bounce back from it. And now they're up 12-3, and they're struggling a little bit. They're going to go for the Tech 9 armor buy, and they're just going to try and make something happen. It seems like Arya seems to be the one picking up those early round frags time and time again. Sitting at 21-16, Davey right along his side at 21-13. Those two doing quite a bit of work here for the T side of Three's Up. And they find themselves now in a 5 versus 4 as Fur has gone down early.
So again, it's going to be a man advantage here for the, well, it was a man advantage until Bolts decided to wake up this round. He's going to be able to find one. Steele is going to be able to find one as well, and that bomb is going to be, we're hightailing it all the way back over towards that B bomb site, and I'm going to speed things up a little bit because you can already see that 2 players are already down through drop. Arya is going to be able to pick off one with the AK-47, or pardon me, the M4, and Steele chimes in with 2 more himself, and that's going to leave it all on Abe in a 1 versus 3, make that a 1 versus 2 as he does manage to take down Steele, and it's going to be Cold and Bolts to try to stave off this push coming in. He does have the bomb on his back, and he did manage to pick up an M4A1S, but that's going to leave it very separated defenses here as Cold is all the way over in the middle and playing from the chicken coops is going to be Bolts. Bolts is going to be able to find his back, but he turns just at the wrong moment. Does manage to spot him out and does manage to take him down. So in the 9th round now on the board here for Luminosity.
So after only having 3 rounds, they now find themselves 3 rounds down. They're only 3 rounds away from potentially closing it out. And it's going to be another bye here for Three's Up. And that last bye round, that was devastating. They had that bye round where they came down to the 1 versus 1 from, I think, what was it, 1 versus 3? They let, I think it was Bolts. I can't remember if it's Bolts or Fur. It was a situation that should not have occurred.
Yeah.
As Three's Up would have been setting themselves up for a massive advantage. They might have even put LG onto an eco round, but they're going to lose the early round battle here.
Bolts has caught fire in the second half.
LG is doing to 3-Up what 3-Up did to them, and that's consistently getting the opening frag and weakening the attack.
Well,
and it seems like 3-Up doesn't have a response just yet.
And here's the big thing, too, is that they've been favoring very heavily on this B-bomb site almost every single time that it's been a gun round. Abe has the AWP, already had it to start off, but they couldn't get that opening pick. And again, yeah, like you saw, there's going to be Fallen actually all the way at the top side of mid, pushed all the way out, and he's going to be able to pick off one more. And he's done this before. We saw it, I believe it was actually at the Cologne Major, a round against, I think it was Fnatic on this map, where he managed to get himself out in front of that wall and pick off a couple of players in that direction. I believe he actually had a 3K or a 4K from there. So Fallen doing work. Bolts again, another 3K in the backside of that site. He's 22-12 now, and it's got to start being a little bit desperate for 3-Sup. So let's go ahead and take a listen in on their side and see what they're common. Oh, I have a DC problem going on here. Maybe the server box crashed. Well, take a technical timeout. I'm going to hop over into the other room real quick just to see what kind of situation we got going on. Bach, you take it away if they do manage to come back.
Oh, I will.
Alrighty, boys and girls, we're back in the action. We're going to get you guys situated here. Our beautiful producer over here just flipping switches like it's nobody's business, getting it all locked down for us here. Nice shot from Abe, though. 12-10 is the scoreline. Bolts and Steel going to combine. Look at this. Fur coming around from behind. They don't even see it coming. Fallen nading down Davey, and that's going to leave Kiko in a 1 versus a lot. And he's going to take a tremendous amount of damage from Fur here in mid. Doesn't realize that he's backed up, but that nade, oh, it actually clips the corner of the wall. That was a weird bounce. And how many bullets does he have? I can't tell because it hasn't loaded because I'm just in the first round, but oh! Nice! High five, Bach. I know y'all heard that. It's going to be a 1 versus 2, Kiko. Oh, my God. Wow. Good thing that they were in a tag team tandem strategy there, and Bulls was able to pick that last one up. Nice shot there. No freeze time? Kappa?
I just love the reaction there from the Brazilian team here. LG.
Ow!
I don't know what that is, but they're just like,
Hey,
they clearly just facepalmed the keyboard and then said, lol, there's no freeze time. I think they're just going to go with it.
There you go. They fixed it. It says map paused. Clearly, that's not the case. But honestly, why not go for it? I mean, that actually would have played better into the hands of 3-Up because they could have just rushed into that B-bomb site with the pistols and gotten there really, really quickly and caught them off guard. But again, it's just one of those kind of things.
So they do open up with the rifle kill. That's going to be Fur taking down Kiko. Arya drops as well to Fur, so now Abe, Jason R, and Davey left to try and salvage the round here. Davey goes down. Abe and Jason R, last two standing here. 3-Up, potentially letting a massive lead slip right through their fingers. They were up 12-3, and now they're finding themselves at a point where it could be a tie score 12-12. So what was working out so well for them on their CT side is now working so well for LG. The aggression, just wonderful for the CT side. So Abe and Jason are just trying their best to find a kill, maybe get a bomb plant here. 15 seconds left on the clock. Probably not going to find it. Pop flash rains in. Both players should drop, and they do. Bolts locking it down from the back of B platform. It's 12-12, all tied up. 9 straight rounds for the CT side of LG.
Yeah, and I mean, just absolutely huge. I'm not really sure. I think they probably, there we go. They got rid of the balls off the screen.
Look
yes!
at that.
And you know what? Just as an added treat for you guys, while we're at it, let's take a listen to Luminosity. Somebody can translate for me, right?
I'm sure somebody could.
É agora, hein? Bora. Round decisivo. Faça smoke, tá bom?
Cuidado que era B1 rápido, tá bom, Fallen?
Tá, tô voltando já. Pode smokear. Consegui. Segurando o flash.
Vou passar. Vai cair aqui o Shin, tô certo.
Fechei uma, fechei uma.
Tô mirando o Sky.
Em cima do só no Crins, só no Crins.
Tá.
Passou verde, um fer.
Vamos lá.
Avança,
Pode ir lá, eu tô... Vamos avançar aqui.
Bora, vou bangar, vou bangar. Verde, fer.
Pera, vai chegando.
Bangar, hein?
Vai.
Agora.
Tô chegando no Get, Fer.
Eu tô preso, né?
Tô na direita, peguei.
Boa, volta.
Não, para 10.
Brincando, não avança mais não.
É, tô com 10.
Fica no chiqueiro lá escondido.
Vou ficar elevador.
Boa, Tileiro.
Vou mirar quieto, banguei.
Recolhe,
Vai dar
recolhe.
meio, tio. Vai dar meio, tio.
Queda B1 é meu, queda B1 é meu.
Tem mais um verde, cara.
Queda B1 é meu.
Pode entrar meio, pode entrar meio.
Só você quer.
Recolhe, recolhe bom.
Relaxa, eu tô com
Tá.
ordem. Queda B1 é meu, queda
Consegui
B1 é
recuar,
meu.
recuei cat, relaxa.
É, tem um cara
Queda,
de
queda,
dois.
queda,
Pera,
queda, queda pra B2. Queda pra B2, escutei, hein. Sim, molotov casinha aí.
Só você tem live, Code.
Tô indo
Ó,
pra aí,
primeira
tô
B2,
indo
primeira
pra aí.
B2. Peguei um. Em cima. Tô mirando
nas
em
costas,
cima. Tira a
nas
cara,
costas.
tira a cara. Em cima de mim. Miado,
Nas costas dele,
no
relaxa.
44. Caiu. Tá de costas.
Com 10.
Boa, Botalho. Jogando
Well,
muito.
there you
Jogando
go.
Warfare.
And one of the things that I don't know if you could hear in the background, but I was actually whispering over to Bach was how disciplined their calls are. I know, I have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm just a
You don't
ignorant
speak
American.
Portuguese?
I don't speak other languages except really dirty Spanish. But one of the things that I've noticed about their comms is that it's just very disciplined, very slow, methodical calls, not too much, not an over-exertion of information, and it's really, really cool to hear. Really, really cool stuff, even though I have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, I have no clue either. I kind of wish I did, but chances are I wouldn't find much of a use in my regular day life given my occupation of choice. Nonetheless, it is a 5v4 here with 3-Sub actually getting the early frag, getting themselves another one as well before a response comes in from the side of Luminosity. And Jason R is going to take down the player who did come up with that response. That was Fallen, and now Bolt's last man standing here with the AWP. And he's going to be pop flashing his way into drop zone. He does have that op, hoping to find a few bodies up the T side. He almost gets that
If
flick.
he would have hit that shot, that would have been nuts.
It hit the pole very close to where he was. And I think we have a pause coming in. And this one I actually think might take a little bit of time. So we have a server pause
they
coming
server
in.
paused.
So we're going to actually take
So
a...
what do they mean by can't drop?
Okay, so there's been an issue when the match medic has come in where players can't drop, or they can't buy grenades. Because it's some kind of strange issue. We're aware that it's a problem, and we try to fix it, but we don't know it's a problem until they tell us.
Right.
So we don't know it's an issue until they say, hey, this isn't working, and then we have to fix it. So right now it's 13-13, all tied up. I promise you guys, we will be back in just a few short moments. We're going to find out what's happening and give you guys an ETA, but I really don't think it's going to be long. They're going to get it fixed, and then we'll be going live very shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're back in action right now. LG versus 3-Sup, and on our screen it says 3-Sup for both sides, but it's all good. What?
I don't think we are good to go or not. Let's see. No, I think we are good. They're saying, okay.
You better.
Looks like they're left. Well,
knock
they
it
were
off,
asking about
Doc.
grenades. There's the two issues that we've noticed with the match medic sometimes is there's an issue with grenades. It's a known problem. But they are able to get grenades and able to drop. Oh, goodness gracious. Nope. I think we're re-executing the config.
Now we're live.
I mean, I've been live this whole time. I've been alive for 28 years.
Yeah, nades were off.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
So the grenades were
I'll make
off.
the camera
Now they're
dance for you
fixed.
guys.
They're able to drop guns as well. So they're going to replay that. I think they're just moving into the next round. So LG is actually willing to surrender that round, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it? It was 12-13.
It was tied up.
Okay,
13-13.
so it was tied up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they lost that round fair and square.
All right, so 13-13 is the score. And finally 3-Sub finds a round, but after how many at that point? They lost, 11 straight rounds before finally picking up one. They're only
The scoreboard
3
is
away.
actually accurate for you guys that are watching at home.
Yes, it is. They're only 3 away from potentially closing this out and forcing a map 3, and then they'd be forced to play Mirage, which is going to be absolutely brutal. But it is nothing happening right now thus far. It's very slow round from both teams, not willing to get over aggressive. A lot of caution being displayed here by the likes of 3-Sub and Luminosity.
Yeah, a lot of poise being shown and Fallen. He's going to draw first blood. He does have the AWP this round, and now Fur is going to come into contest here at the bottom side of mid. The flashbang goes out, but the skips just before it gets to him. He's going to be able to spot one, takes him down. That's Kiku. That's the bomb carrier. And now it's going to be all on this last player down here in mid. That was Jason R. Able to take down Fur and get the trade. Abe is actually all the way out in front of the fence here, but he's going to get spotted by Fallen and taken down. And we're looking at a 14th round now for Luminosity.
Here's just Jason R, and he does go down, and that is absolutely worst case scenario here because now the money that they've been managing, the way they've been managing to get all these buy rounds in is by full loss bonus. They've had full loss bonus for so long that they've basically just been able to buy every single round with maybe 1 or 2 occasional eco rounds. So now like they're able to equip a buy, but it's like a split buy. They've got 2 Tech 9s and 3 AKs, and then if things don't work out, they're broke and 3's up or Luminosity's on that 15th point, and they could easily just walk into an victory for the final one of the half.
Lucky right there. Bolts didn't get caught from behind. They're going to go ahead and jump out in front of the smoke. Steel's going to be able to take one down, but Bolts goes down. Fallen with the AWP is going to be able to chime in with another kill as well, and that's going to leave it on Abe and a 1 versus 4. And Fallen in his face. He goes skidding off to the side. And now they've got Abe. It's an AK spray down cold. Not able to find it, but there it is. Steel lights him up 15-13. We've got ourselves 2 possible match points here for Luminosity to shut this one down. And like you said, that money situation is dire on the 3-sup side. This could be it. We could see the 2-0 coming into effect here on Cobblestone. But at least from this point, what we can take away from this, even if 3-sup loses this matchup and falls in 2, they came to play. They had a hell of a CT side on Cobble.
Oh, they absolutely
Sensational.
did. I mean, they really gave themselves a fighting chance, but they just couldn't put much together on their
Fur.
T side. And yeah, Fur just lurking his way in mid. It's all on Jason R and Arya to potentially force map number 3, which would still be quite a challenge for the likes of 3's Up. I mean, Luminosity just so good on that map. And we said it. If they were going to win this, they really needed the 2-0.
They needed to do it in 2, yep.
And they just couldn't put it together in the first map. They almost make it here on Cobble, but it looks like they could be bowing out of the upper bracket here as Jason R and Arya left standing here with a minute left on the clock. Arya does have the AWP, so his gun of choice in his hands, but up close and personal is going to be Fur. Jason R with the trade. 50 seconds left on the clock, a Galil in hand. This is quite a task here.
Yeah, he does have the bomb, does have head armor. No more nades for him. They're going to go ahead and smoke down to the bottom side of mid. And Steel's going to finish it off. So 16-13 is going to be your final score there. Going in 2 matches, Luminosity is actually going to be taking this series, and they're going to meet CLG in the upper bracket finals here very, very shortly, guys. So we got one more BO3 for you tonight before we call it an evening. So we're burning the midnight oil on this one.
We've been burning the midnight, 3 a.m., 5 a.m. oil for a couple days now, and it's all for you. So you better be grateful.
There you go. So we'll be back in a little bit for you guys. Stay tuned.